This is the most exciting launch at the Düsseldorf Boat Show. It is the brand new Fairline Targa 40, and we are going to give you a complete tour, show you everything there is to see, all the options. Let's get going. A few things to point out about the exterior styling. It's a really attractive boat. First up, we've got this little snub nose. It's almost vertical, but just gives it a more modern profile. Then we've got this beautiful backlit Targa 40 sign right up on the bow, and long sweeping windows all the way down the top sides. And look at how big they are here. Really deep. You can see them being backlit from inside, but that's the main saloon area and that is the ensuite cabin. But this is perhaps the most exciting bit of all, the folding balcony. So let's go and take a closer look at that from the inside. But she is a very, very pretty boat. Just look at that. Let's just walk around the side of it, see it from the other side. Again, it is a symmetrical boat, so we have got the backlit logo there too. All the way down the side. Let's get a little view from the stern. And you can see some of the recessed lighting under there. We've got this lovely ultraviolet style glow all the way along it. Right, let's get going with the tour. Let's have a quick look at the stats. It is 39 foot 4 inches long, so it is genuine 40 footer. It is 13 foot 1 inches wide, and it has a draft of 3 foot 10 inches. Now, power comes from twin Volvo D6 engines. You can either have 340 horsepower each for a speed of about 32 knots, or 380 horsepower each for a estimated speed of around about 36 knots. At the moment, you can't fit the bigger 440s, but who knows, that might become an option in the future. Now, this is that platform that we spoke about earlier. You can see it is a folding platform. We've got the security gates up here. That is a £30,000 option, so it is pretty expensive, but as you can see, it does add an awful lot to the boat, and I'll show you some of the clever features of that in a minute. Now, we've got a few other things to show you at the back here. This platform here is a hydraulic platform. That is not for the tender. There is a separate tender garage, but that just means that you can lower it down into the sea and becomes a really lovely bathing platform under the surface of the water. So it just makes getting in and out of the water that much easier. Now, here we have the tender garage. I might just see if I can lift that up. You can see there's a pair of buttons here, and I'm hoping that if I press that button, oh, wrong one, sorry. That's the button to press. That platform lifts up. Let's pause it there for the moment. So there you can see that is the tender garage. That will lift higher on the production boats. You'll get it all the way up to give you access, but it comes with a Zodiac 2.3 meter rib. You can get a slightly bigger one. You can get a 2.7 meter rib in there if you deflate it a bit. Now, I say rib, to be honest, it has an inflatable air deck floor, so it's not a proper full rib, but with an inflatable air deck floor, that should work very neatly. It comes as part of the boat. It is an optional extra, and it includes a Torqeedo electric motor and charging points for that motor, as well as a compressor to inflate it and deflate it. But very nice to have a proper tender garage on a boat of this size. Now, if we move into the cockpit, this seat here is very clever. We've got lots of different ways. You can see, first of all, let's just show you that there is a gate. So of course, when you've got that platform up and the gate in position, you have a really nice secure cockpit, safe for children and so on. Just a very simple pull across and that locks into place there. We've then got an adjustable seat back, and actually Miles here might very kindly demonstrate that for me.
Do that for you.
Brilliant.
Very easy. Pull the little knob out there to release that seat back. So we've now got an aft-facing sunbed.
Brilliant.
However, with the balcony down, clearly the best place to be looking at the world going by is across the balcony. So here we have a backrest section that is on a ratchet system.
Right.
So I can have it at one of 5 settings, depending on my lounging mood, right the way through to being a proper couch.
So at that point, you can literally just sit yourself on the side deck looking out over the sea. Obviously not quite so pretty here in the middle of a Düsseldorf boat show, but you get the idea. You've got a lovely platform. You've got this safety rail that comes around here to keep you in place. And what a perfect spot to enjoy your drink. So, and to put it down again, you just lift it up.
Just take it to the end of its extension and lay it down.
And that swings back over.
Correct.
So you can have it facing forwards, sideways, or as a full sun lounger. Exactly the same with this one here. We've got the tender garage up at the moment, but you can see that that will also go all the way down, and then that too can be a rear facing, a little bit sticky on the first one, but that too will fold over, and then you've got an extra sunbed there. Look at that. So you've got twin sunbeds either side, or twin forward facing seats. Now there is more cleverness going on here as well, because inside the cockpit, at the moment you can see we've got it very much as an open space. We've got this lovely C-shaped wrap of seating, but there is another secret hiding under here, which I might need a bit more help again. I haven't got enough hands for this. But those of you who remember the previous Targa 38, and indeed I think the 45, there is a hidden table.
Cantilever table on a stainless leg, which folds out. Lovely teak table, lovely stainless detailing. Obviously bottle holders in this marble in the centre.
Very lovely. Perfect, and then that just folds back down into place.
Yeah, just get that and seat base back.
Super job.
I've done this a few times. Can you tell?
Look at that, but that is so clever. So you've got a full-size table when you want it, and the whole thing just tucks completely out of the way when you just want more space. Now over on this side, we've got a wet bar. Lift that up for you, have a little look behind there. It is two sections, so you can open just the sink if you want to, or the grill if you want to, or have it all open like this. We've got a fridge under there, a bin under there, and here we have special storage. You've got the glasses in place, and you can get your crockery in here too. So you've got the full cooking station and everything you need all in the same place. Just close that up, and then behind here there is yet more draining storage. So you can put in here your plates, when your glasses once you've done with them, put your wet bathing costume in there, they all drain, whatever you like, but it's just a very useful extra bit of draining storage. We've got another clever little locker in here. This is the shut off for the fuel, port and starboard, and the fire release. And then another clever feature about this is you can see here we've got steps up onto the side deck, but when this comes upright, this actually folds out. That creates a step up onto there, and behind there is also a place where all these little stanchions and safety rails clip into place. Now whilst we're up here, let's have a quick look on the foredeck. I'll show you up here. Note the very fancy lighting inset into the deck as we go. Grab rails up here and at thigh height. Really big sunroof. We'll show you that from inside too, but just give you an idea of the scale of the opening. Really big opening. And then forward onto the foredeck, and again a really, really wide sun pad. For a 40-foot yacht, it is much bigger than you would normally find. And I think they've just managed to do that by getting it all the way out, kept relatively narrow side decks down the side, but created a massive big sun pad. Now this is all part of the sun pad, but also it will ratchet up and lock into place, so you can have a nice little forward-facing bench there too. And indeed, these headrests here also prop up. Again, on the same ratchet system, relatively heavy, but you can see that those two lock into place, so you've got headrests for the sun pads too. Now, a quick look up here in the bow. Those are, of course, the controls for the electric windlass, and we've got storage for fenders and lines, as well as the windlass itself. Right, pop back down the side deck. Being as careful as we can, there's a bit of a drop there at the moment. Now here we have access to the engines. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but one thing I did want to show you is that this cutout around here, this whole area will actually lift up to give better access to the engines, but that is currently the access. We've also got storage behind here, again brilliant for chucking in fenders and so on. So although it's got lots of fancy features, they haven't forgotten the practical stuff. Now moving forward in the cockpit, we've got an L-shaped chaise longue type situation going on here. There is a little bit of return here, so you can sit facing forwards or chill out, lay back there. We've got manual opening windows on either side. Got to say, I prefer manual windows for this kind of thing. They're just so simple and reliable, and why spend a fortune for electric windows that are probably going to fail you at some point. Now here is that big sunroof we showed you. Really terrific opening. There is a fold-up footrest here. You can see that shuts away in there. That's so that when you want to have it closed up, if the weather's not so great, you can close the whole thing up and still have standing headroom. But when it's nice, you just pull that down, locks into place, and that gives you extra elevation when you're sat here or stood here. I can very easily just poke my head through the windscreen, and there you can see it gives you the height you need to look out over that foredeck. 2 adjustable helm seats. We've got bolster cushions, slide in and out. The whole seat slides backwards and forwards. Whoop. A little bit crude doing it one-handed, but ideally those would go a little bit further back. There is a bit more space to create a bit more movement there if you need to. Helm station, very nice and clear. One thing that is always going to be a little bit of a compromise on a boat like this is that the co-pilot seat is inside. Obviously you will have to move to let them come and go, but it does mean that you're, as the helm driver, in a central position. You've got a better view out, better clearance with that sunroof too. Here are the controls for the engines. Joystick is an option. I think that's quite an expensive, about a £15,000 option, but it does mean that you can literally put it where you want to, sideways, twist it on the spot. Otherwise, just the conventional throttles and bow thruster over here. We've got twin 12-inch Garmin screens here. You can have a single 16-inch if you'd rather. Another sliding window there, manual, and there is adjustment for the steering wheel under there if you want to change the angle of that. Let's go and take a look below decks. We've got 4 steps down, slightly curving, just gives you a little bit better placement for your feet. Then a really good size C-shaped seating area here. Now you can see we've got the table there, that's currently in its folded up form, but if I just delicately move that to one side, you can see both those ends fold out, like so. Obviously creates more dining space. We have got adjustment for the height of the table. That is moving, you probably can't see, it's going relatively slowly, but the key reason as to why that is adjustable for height, let me see if I can demonstrate that. Oh, wrong one. There we go. So that lowers all the way down. There is an infill cushion that sits on top of that, and then effectively you get an extra berth. So as well as the 2 cabins, one forward, one back, you can have a double berth in the middle there if you need to sleep more people. Over on this side, we've got the galley. We've got a television set into the bulkhead, and always love these with Fairline. We've got a beautiful glass cupboard, all backlit, all specially designed to be able to take each and every glass and hold it nice and secure underway. It's a small point, but always impresses people. Lots of lovely detail fretwork here. This is the gloss mahogany finish. You can have matte finish, you can have oak, you can have mahogany, all up to you. Now moving forward into the owner's cabin. This is obviously a bow cabin. It's right forward, but really good beam all the way around here. Now, one of the other things I wanted to show you is that under this bed, at the moment, you can see there is just a big void. That is for taking 2 stools that sit perfectly. You can see the shape of the the moulding that they slot into, and that is so that you can have seating all the way around that table if you want. So you really can sit everybody down there, you can have a meal down there. Good sized bed, relatively high, it comes up to about my hip height, but we've got access down either side. Really good sized hull windows along both sides. We've got extra light coming through there. There is a cushion on there at the moment. Lots of storage. We've got a little vanity unit here. Storage all the way around. I won't open them all, but you get the picture. There is storage. Lots of lovely detail in those reading lights. Good sized bed. Just this side, it has a hanging wardrobe. There you go. And then over on this side is access to the ensuite bathroom. Now there is only one bathroom on this boat, not entirely surprising on a 40-footer, but rather than having two very compromised ones, you've got one really good size one, separate shower, glass screen. I won't show you in there, but you can see perfectly well through that. Got the loo in the corner, sink here, good size window and little opening port. Now because that is a shared bathroom, you obviously need access from the saloon, and that is here. So effectively it's what we tend to call a Jack and Jill bathroom. So you've got dual access to it, one from the saloon and one en suite from that master cabin. And then as we come back, we've got the galley area here, again right next to that biggest of the hull windows. Another little opening port, always like to see that. Got an induction hob here, big sink under there, microwave there, lots of clever storage. And up above here, down here we've got the fridge, bin, more storage, etc. One thing I nearly forgot to show you, over here, pull that open, look at that. Full set of Fairline branded crockery, all stored under that sofa. It's the little details like that that really make Fairline special. And then coming back past the galley into the aft cabin, and here we've got, it's a full beam cabin technically. There isn't full sitting, or certainly not full standing headroom. You can just about sit on the bed there. Little bit tight, but crucially you've got either two good single beds, or very neatly you can just lift this up, swing it across, and hey presto, you've got a double bed. So always going to be a compromise on a 40-foot boat. You're never going to have a full beam sort of owner's cabin on it, but actually given the amount of headroom you've got here, you've got light streaming through both sides of the cabin, you've got the option for twins or a double, decent bit of storage there, and then either you can have this optional sideboard here, or the standard layout is to have a sofa there. So really nice to be able to have somewhere to sit, get dressed, put on your socks, whatever it is. Other rather neat feature, so you can see there's a television in this bulkhead and you think, well, that's only quite useful, you're not going to watch it from there, but there's a special release here that pulls out, then it swings out, and then you've got a TV that you can view very comfortably from the bed. There is a decent hanging locker in there, and of course lots of storage in that side unit. I said I would show you the engine, so let's have a quick peek down there. Now this is just the daily access hatch to make things quicker. I like the fact there's a couple of fender holders here, that's really neat. And then if we drop down here, there are those two D6 380s. Fairly easy to get to that one, a little bit tighter there because you've got the tender garage above it. We've got the fuel tank here, filters here, all the electrics there. And of course, this whole section here, all the way around here, will open up to give better access when you need it. Let's finish up standing on the folding terrace of the Fairline Targa 40, the defining feature of this new sports cruiser. But there is one big question remaining that you will all want to know, and that is prices. Now, prices for this start at £566,000 ex VAT with the bigger 380 horsepower engines, but there are a lot of optional extras on this boat. We've already looked at the terrace, that's a £30,000 option. The hydraulic bathing platform, that's a £15,000 option. The tender with all the recharge features and so on, that's another £4,000. The table is around about £10,000. The joystick is about £15,000. That gloss walnut finish, another £10,000 or so. So in total, it comes to £834,000 ex VAT. Now that is quite a chunky sum for a 40-foot boat, but then again, it is a very special one. It feels much bigger than you might expect. We've got that huge cockpit. We've got really good accommodation below decks. We've got lots and lots of innovative features. And of course, it is a real quality British built product. So I, for one, are delighted to see that a British manufacturer is building a brand new, very stylish, beautifully finished and built 40-foot sports cruiser. So as far as I'm concerned, they've absolutely nailed it. Well done, Fairline.